the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go.
Behind him is near family. So when that happens and you have that backing where his family is behind him, his management team and staff and helpers are all near family and nothing but love, it's a big wave pushing you forward. It's hard not to succeed with the talent that he has. That's my personal opinion.
Could you ask him what are some of the differences he feels in being promoted by PBC and Heyman Boxing LLC, and the difference between being with Golden Boy, who he was with Oscar, who the world thinks is a promoter with experience because he was a fighter? Just have him speak of some of the differences in being promoted to different entities.
Si puedes hablar la diferencia entre cuando estabas promovido por Oscar de la Joya Golden Boy y ahora estando promovido por Al Heyman y PBC, que si tienes, puedes hablar un poquito de la diferencia.
Golden Boy me dio la posibilidad de que saliera a la luz. A Heyman me ha dado la posibilidad de llegar a pelear por el título. Sabe que hay agradecimientos diferentes, pero más ahora quien me lleva mi carrera, a Heyman Luis de Cuba Jr., que le han hecho lo posible porque yo llegue a cumplir mi sueño.
He definitely is a different level, yes, but he's appreciative of both. Golden Boy put him on the map, put him on HBO, showed the world King Kong boxing and King Kong. Al Heyman has now put it to the next level where he is now able to fight for championships and main stages, and that to him is the world now. So although it's different promoters, at the end of the day he's very grateful to both Louis de Cuba Jr. along with Al Heyman, and then his promoter Juan Jimenez, his manager Juan Jimenez, and his promoter locally here, Dade Boxing. That to him is the world.
All right, so my name is Nestor Gibbs with the Boxing Voice, because obviously these other cameras are not going to talk. I need to have my questions for me. I just want to know, how does he feel about, I guess, the perception in the world about him, right? He's considered the boogeyman, but he doesn't necessarily get those fights or have those wins to indicate the boogeyman on his resume.
¿Cómo usted se siente de que a ti te consideran el boogeyman, ¿no? El más peleador, que más miedo le tienen en todo boxeo, pero nadie quiere pelear contigo y nadie pelea contigo para que tu resumen vea que de verdad merece ser el más temado en todo boxeo? ¿Cómo usted se siente?
No, ese nombre lo han puesto los fanáticos de ser boogeyman. Yo lo que hago es mi trabajo every day aquí en el gimnasio para hacer lo final en la pelea.
The fights have been offered to everybody in the top 15, in the top 10, in the top 5. His manager, again, Juan, has made that very, very clear, not only in interviews, but to the other promoters. They have denied. Not publicly, because they're publicly saying, I'll fight you, I'll beat that old man up, but it's not happening because the fights are being offered. His job is to stay in the ring, is to stay in the gym, is what he says, and then go fight, whoever it may be. He doesn't pick him, they pick him for him. He's a throwback in that sense. Boogeyman was given to him by the media, by you guys, by the other fighters. He didn't put that name on himself, but he doesn't really think of one way or another. Like, he'll fight whoever they put in there to fight with him. Unfortunately, it's not the fights that you guys would think would merit, you know, like the Dillian Whites and the, you know, all these other fighters and the Brazils and all that. That's the politics of the sport, and it's not happening. And I don't blame some of these other promoters not putting their fighters in there with them, because those will knock them out.
Now, this December 1st fight with Travis Kaufman, Lewis tried to get Dillian White on the undercard. Dillian White came back out, said, no, fight me on my card, which is understandable because he's a pay-per-view star. He sells tickets in the United Kingdom. In the media, Lewis agreed. What happened? Why don't we have Dillian White versus Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz, December 22nd in the O2 in the UK?
He doesn't know that, and that would be a question for his manager, Jay. He has no clue why it didn't happen. When they asked him, will you fight Dillian? No, that's a question really for Jay. I do know is that they told us, will you fight Dillian White? You know, is that something that I would be okay with? I said, fight anybody. It doesn't make a difference. Whoever you want to put him in there, we're ready. we keep very close amongst us, you know, the managers, the trainers, and the fighter. So he knew that that was a possibility, but he doesn't know why it didn't materialize. You know, that's a question for Jay.
Obviously, as the trainer, you know the landscape of boxing, the political things, how some fighters could be on one side, other fighters could be on another side. But there are rumors of a 3-fight deal for Luis Ortiz after this fight with Eddie Hearn and DAZN. Is there any truth to that? And is it the smart thing to go across the street when Al Heyman's giving him 3 fights this year plus a title shot?
You know, I don't know about that rumor. I heard it also, but you know, I don't know exactly if it's true, if it's not true, if Eddie and Juan have been discussing that. I don't know. If it has been, I think Jay would have told me already and told us already. So, you know, people will talk. They say a lot of things about, you know, Luis, the scenario, whether he's fighting this guy, he's fighting that guy. They all want to see him fight everybody, but then nobody wants to fight him. That's the frustrating part with me for 5 years. When Jay and I first met 5 years ago, we got together, I told him, I said, within the first fight or second fight we had, I said, nobody's going to fight this guy. Trust me when I tell you. And it's playing out, unfortunately, that way. But Jay's done a phenomenal job of keeping him busy, even with guys that may not merit like that stage with him right now. But it's a fight. And that's what you got to do to keep that in their face, because eventually one of these guys are going to have to step up. One of these Dillans, one of these Brazils, one of these guys are going to have to step up. That makes sense, of course, on the other side too, because we're not just going to fight anybody if it means nothing, you know. So I think that's coming sooner than later.
When we're talking about the politics, what side as a trainer do you see better for King Kong, for you to put together a game plan? Should he stay here and face the Dominics and the Wilders, or do you see it better for him to go towards the Dillians and the Chisoras, Anthony Joshua's? Is that an easier route for him? To a title shot. I never mean easy in the ring.
Well, I think it matters really at this point. It's not so much whether it was here or there. I think he's already merits whether he's here to be a main stage or in UK as a main stage. It's about the money. It's about the money. It's about the title. You know, it's about what's behind it. So Jay, Junior, Al, Eddie, it seems now that everyone's working with everybody, and so let's all work together and let's get Luis in there. If not, Wilder after this fight, with Dillian White, with the next guy, somebody. The only one who stepped up and showed balls is Wilder, period, point blank. Everyone else is running like a bunch of hoes, all of them, and they're hiding behind their promoters. So the only one that stepped up is Wilder. He's the only one. So not only do I have respect, my fighter has the utmost respect for Wilder, because he did do that. He didn't talk it. He went and did it and won. So what's up? That's how I feel. That's me talking. That's not him talking. But he might say the same thing.
Now, you've been here before with Eddie Hearn in a 3-fight deal, thinking you were going to get the Joshua fight. As a trainer, again, do you want your fighter to go down that route?
You know, I was raised to not say nothing if it wasn't going to be nice. So, you know what I'm saying? That's a comment for Jay, really, honestly. Not for me.
So you spoke earlier about mistakes that he made in the fight and not being able to correct them on fight night, but obviously being able to correct them in training camp. What mistakes you seen him make?
Well, it was when he had him hurt that he just went all out. He didn't place punches. He kind of crowded himself a little bit for Wilder to kind of hang on him a little bit. It was a barrage of punches. I understood what he was going through emotionally because I had been there before. I knew what he was going through. Tried to explain it to him even in camp that this is a possibility, that's a possibility. But it's impossible sometimes when he's set on doing one thing. He was emotional for that fight because there was some, I guess, beef, right, with Wilder and whatnot. So he took it a little personal and really wanted to you know, pull his head off his shoulders with his fist. So the mistake was there. Regardless of how much of a machine you are, how much of an animal you are, if you throw 150 punches in a round as a heavyweight and all power, you're gonna deflate. So the recovery on the following round wasn't enough. It needed to be in the 9th round. But in the 9th round, he got hit again after the bell with a mean hook. So that deflated again a little bit. All these punches, when you're fatigued and when you're tired, boom, drops the power like a video game. Drops the bar a little more. So by the time he got in that 10th round, he was just on guts, just on heart, just on instinct reaction. It was nothing, there was no game plan anymore. It was finish the fight, catch him again, and let's see what we can do. So the mistake is that when it happens again, because it will happen again, because like I said, Lewis is a very accurate puncher. He's not gonna miss. It's 12 rounds to hit Wilder. Wilder's got to hit him one time, he's got to hit Wilder one time, the fight changes, right? That's obvious, we know that. Whoever hits who first and capitalizes after that is the winner of that fight in the rematch. But I'm a little bit more willing to bet on our defense, on his skill, on his championship level from Cuba and here than Wilder's defense, who's not still very suspect. Mega right hand. Mega right hand. Not so much left hook. Mega right hand. With all that being said, we've cleaned up that mental mistake, emotional mistake. You have to be a cold-hearted son of a bitch in there when you hurt somebody and just dissect them. You can't just a barrage of punches, especially in the heavyweight division. Each punch he throws is devastating power. You don't have to throw 100 of them, it takes one. So we've worked on those things, you know, and even though we worked on them before, until you don't go through it. And unfortunately, he had to go through it.
How's he feel about the age comments? They're always calling him old and stuff. I want to hear his response.
¿Cómo te sientes con los comentarios de que eres un viejo y de que estás ya viejo? ¿Cómo te sientes?
La vejez se lleva aquí en la mente.
He says that's up here. There's too many fighters that have proved that. He's nowhere near Bernard's age, Foreman's age, or any of that. He's 39 years old, plain, simple. Everyone can say what they want to say. He's 39 years old, plain and simple. When he can't perform, when he can't react, when he can't fight against a world champion 30-year-old, which is what he did. Right, so he says, so why don't they want to fight the old man? Why are they ducking the old man? Fight the old man. If it's that easy, fight me. If I'm that old, fight me.
So, for dangerous guys, normally they take the route of a mandatory. Obviously, you had the shot with Wilder. Maybe there's something promised there, but why won't you go to a sanctioning body? The sanctioning body's rankings and become the champion's mandatory?
I can answer that. He probably won't really know that. He'll say, I just want to fight. The main thing is that you can be the mandatory to anybody, but then they're going to cross over and do unifications. The unifications can take a year to materialize and happen. The rematch to a unification can take another year and materialize. The mandatories can get stepped aside. We were the mandatory for over
Anthony
2
Joshua.
years. Yeah, for more than 2 years with the WBA.
What exactly happened with that?
And I don't know. I don't know. We were the champion, then we weren't. Just out of the blue. Just like, no more. Manuel Charr just got suspended. He just got suspended. He didn't get stripped, he got suspended. So he tested with something that eventually got proven in the Nevada panel that it was a .1, like that's how much over it was. So it was clearly a cross-contamination. This dude now, Charr, gets tested with 2 steroids. He gets suspended. They strip Lewis. They gave him an opportunity to get the fight.
Char's B sample was negative though.
Yeah, but
I don't know
your A
how.
sample was, yeah, but your A sample wasn't. So at the end of the day, I don't know what happened. We were the champions. We were the mandatory. Then we weren't. Then we went the WBC route, who has been, you know, more than gracious with that route, because they realize he's a quality #1 heavyweight. He merits to be there, and you know, it's tough. There's a lot of politics, but it's tough.
Do you think we'll see a trilogy between him and Wilder?
Well, we got to see the rematch first.
He's got to win the rematch.
Okay, ¿tú quieres pelear con Wilder 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 veces?
No 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 veces, pero si tú lo peleas otra vez en la revancha, tú le darías a él la tercera pelea para que sea un trilogy. Si tú le ganas, obviamente.
Claro.
Yes,
claro.
Yes, he will.
Claro.
Wilder's been nothing but gracious, been nothing but a gentleman.
Los únicos que
kept
tenemos
his word.
cojones para pelear somos él y yo, porque yo solo no quiero pelear.
Says the only ones that got balls to fight is Wilder and him. If they got to fight each other 50 times before someone steps up, but the only one. So he'll give Wilder 50 shots at it because he stepped up.
So no other PBC heavyweights would take the fight. Dominic Brazils of the world. None of those guys?
I don't know. I don't think so. No. Jay just said no.
Jay, you need to be sitting right there giving us some solid information over here. Why they ducking your mans?
They ducking him, that's for sure. They ducking him.
Does he think that Fury's going to be able to stay away from Wilder's right hand at all?
¿Tú piensas que Fury va a poder evitar la derecha de Wilder toda la noche?
And let's say...
He says it's boxing, anything's possible, but very doubtful by the look.
So anything's possible. Let's say Fury does win a decision and they set up a fight between him and Fury. How does he see that playing out?
Si gana Fury, hace una pelea contigo y con Fury, ¿cómo tú ves eso pasando? That might be a little too far in the future, but he wants to kill everybody.
Anybody.
Yeah. He about to kill you.
You better kill them bags.
Yeah.
Some good bags. Yeah.
Vamos, empezamos. Okay, let's get to work.
Family, yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.